Well, did some thinking, and, well, I do my rants and whatnot, and I've ranted about other characters to a degree, anyway, in the past. And so I decided it was high time I did one about the one character that everyone always asks me about, and they ask me why. Everyone always wants to know why I like, Krillin from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z so much. And, and I suppose that to a lot of people, it might seem like a weird choice to be your favorite, but not really. Not once you understand the characters at all, really. I mean, how do I say this? I mean, yeah, sure, everybody, it's real easy to like the strong guys, okay? It's real easy to like, Goku, because, well, for obvious reasons. It's real easy to like Gohan, it's real easy to like Vegeta, it's easy for people to like Trunks, But the thing is, the reasons why, why it's so easy are kind of sad. And then a lot of it has to do with just, their strength, or, in some cases their attitude, or, even if it's a bad one, quite frankly. It's just real easy to like them for that, but, I do like Krillin partly because of his, attitude as well. I mean, he's, okay, gotta think of how to word this. Well, first of all, he's funny. He's a funny guy. He's sarcastic. He's somewhat cynical. He's a bit of a realist. Slightly pessimistic, but in their situation, you can't blame him. He's actually more of a realist than a pessimist, simply due to that. He's, well, a lot of people disagree with me on this, but he's actually quite brave. And that, okay, let me ask you this. What is more brave to you? Someone obscenely strong taking on someone else obscenely strong that they know they have a chance to beat, or somebody who knows they don't have a chance of winning at all, still refusing to run away just because of that, because they feel that they need to do whatever it takes, whatever little bit they can do in order to help, even if it's just a small thing. Even if it's just the smallest thing in the world. Which one of those takes more guts? Okay? I mean, fear itself is it's a very powerful thing, it's not easy to overcome. And bravery in and of itself is actually, and here's the funny part, people seem to think that being brave is a lack of fear. No, complete and utter lack of fear is, quite frankly, stupidity. There are some things in this world you should be afraid of. However, what bravery is, literally, bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the overcoming of fear. It is doing what you know you have to do, what you know is right, in spite of being absolutely terrified. That is the measure of bravery. If you are utterly, totally terrified of something, but you do it anyway because you know you have to do it, that is one of the bravest things you could ever do. Even if you're so scared you still let your pants doing it, If anything, because why? That takes more courage than half of what other people do anyways, But he's a very brave person. He never gives up, no matter what. And when he knows that he has to do something, he does it no matter what. He's also not stupid. He won't rush into a fight that he knows he can't win, but he also won't back down if he has no other choice. And in spite of everything that he's gone through, he's been a friend to everybody. He's been an aide. He's been a mentor. I mean, sure, he started out, and here's one reason I like him too, is his character development. He started out, when he first shows up, he's cynical, he's bitter, he's a little angry, and you can't really blame him. Because look at how he grew up. He grew up in a Shaolin temple, having been basically abandoned there, and no clue who his parents are, or where they are. ascended fairly high in the ranks for his age, but it also got people, I don't know, sort of jealous, sort of angry, you know. Plus, you know, look at the guy. Quite frankly, some people could say, I suppose, that it's an anime style, but if you look at the other characters, there aren't too many other people drawn in that manner. You know, Krillin is, in a way, you could consider him deformed. He looks different. He's shorter than average. He, you know, the lack of the nose. In fact, ironically, there's actually a real medical condition that bears a lot of the same physical signs as what he has, called fetal alcohol syndrome. And he's got, per se. I kind of think he shows a lot of signs of it, but, you know, I'm not going to get into that because there's nothing at all to support that except for the similarities. But, you know, I mean, and while he's growing up like this, he's growing up around these other people who they constantly make fun of him, they hurt him, they team up, they beat the crap out of him, and it's not just the other students either, it's the monks, it's the priests, the whatever you want to call them, you know, the teachers. They were actually allowing it, you know. And so he leaves, runs off, and decides that he is going to, well, first of all, he's going to prove them wrong, and second of all, that he's going to prove that he's not a complete waste of space, and third of all, he did have a slightly impure motive, and that was to get girls. But you can't really blame him, because honestly, when you're a kid, okay, and you gotta realize he was a kid at the time, when you're a kid and you see yourself like that, then you do tend to think that's the only possible way anyone of the opposite sex is ever even gonna notice you. As if you do something big, make yourself famous. So he decides he's going to become a world champion martial artist, and maybe the girls will notice him. At any rate, so he meets up with Goku, and, you know, he's not used to anyone, you know, treating him anything other than like crap, so he decides to be preemptive. He does it to him first. He realizes, okay, this guy, you know, he's probably going to cheat me, so I'll cheat him before he cheats me. So he takes advantage of the fact that he's a bit naive and everything. What shocks him is that he realizes that even after he's done all this, and even after Goku realizes he did all this, he's still being nice to him. He's still treating him, you know, and it kind of, it has an effect on him. It's the first time he's ever actually had a friend, you know, and from there things start changing for him. His attitude starts changing. His outlook starts changing. He's actually got one of the most interesting development paths that I've seen. He goes from being like on this darker, you know, more cynical road to being more, you know, over here. He's more lighthearted, he's more comical, he's more, you know, happy. Did still have that one dream, though, of finally, you know, getting a girl to, like him, getting married, having a family, you know, someone, you know. Honestly, I know it sounds cliche, but the dude was actually just looking for someone to love him. Literally. Yeah, I know, it sounds really cliche, really corny, but it's the truth. And, so, long story short, that's kind of what happened with Bulma. He meets Bulma, he develops a little bit of a crush on her because, well, for one thing, she is a very attractive girl, and number two, she's about the only girl that he's probably ever met that actually talked to him. So, you know, yeah, that's pretty understandable. And, you know, things did develop a bit there, too, which was kind of interesting, and then it just kind of... The irony of ironies is that when he's finally getting over his crush on her, she actually showed signs of developing one on him. That was ironic, but, you know what, things kind of worked out for the better there. Actually, not kind of, they did. You know, he's just got a really interesting story. He's got a really interesting bit of character development. He's managed to do things that no one else can do. He's the only other person ever that was ever capable of handling the spirit bomb. He came up with the Kianzan, which can literally... I mean, other people have used energy discs before, but his is the only one that can literally say it can cut through anything. I mean, he's got enough control over his ki to actually be able to sharpen it to something like that. And I know some people say, well, what about Frieza's? Frieza's was more powerful. Not really. Frieza's was more powerful in that it could actually chase its opponent. But the problem is, when you do that, you actually lose slicing power. Now, I'm not going to say that, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it sliced through Frieza, but Frieza's the one who launched it. Now, if it had been launched by, say, someone like if Frieza had launched it at someone, say, 100 times stronger than him and it sliced through him, then you might have something to say there. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of why I like him, you know, and I think that he's a seriously underrated character. A lot of people make fun of him, pick on him, seem to hate him, bash him, literally, for no reason at all, and I'm going to go into that a little bit, you know, later, some other time, but anyways, hope that answers you guys' questions as to why I like him, you know, why I like Krillin. Anyways.